Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Sally, and this is the second podcast of my channel, Sally Stories. Some of you might be wondering why the title of this podcast is not True Love, but The Right Love. Because I feel like the word true love is a little bit hype up. It's so romantic and sometimes it's kind of vague, like it's a little bit too complex and somehow it gives us a pressure like we have to aim for something really big, something really cool, something really amazing to call it true love. I just want to talk about the right love. The word right sounds a lot more simple, a lot more relevant, and so close to us, so connected to us, because it all starts from very, very simple thing. I think the right love has two factors. The first one is where you share things in common. When you have the same outlooks of life, when you have the same opinions about things, the same values. Or it can be as simple as when you send them a meme and they laugh. They understand your jokes, they understand your humors. The second factor is that they treat you right. I think all of us should constantly remind ourselves that we all deserve to be treated right in a relationship. Treating you right means they're always there. They're always by your side. No matter how angry they are or you just had a big fight, they always want to make sure that you know that they are in the same team with you. I remember when I was a little bit younger, I saw this illustration where they drew a rock in the middle to represent the problem, and they drew two people on both sides of the rock pulling two strings. The first part of the illustration has the person on the right pulling the string harder than the person on the left. And the second part is vice versa. The person on the left is pulling and giving more efforts than the person on the right. And then I thought to myself that I kind of disagree because the message they were trying to give through this illustration is that sometimes one person gonna pull the string harder than the other person. Like sometimes one person gonna give more efforts than the other person. And they're trying to say that 50-50 kind of effort is kind of unachievable. It's kind of unrealistic. I disagree. I think it's completely normal for us to expect that we should have a fair share of efforts in a relationship. Both people should be on one side of the string and pulling together. They shouldn't be on two sides and the problems in the middle. They should be on one side together and the problems is on the other side. I think the right love is where you find someone who has things in common with you, from a very simple thing like the same humor to the same values of life. And they treat you right. Combining these two factors give you the right love, in my opinion. I spent most of my teenage years running around trying to find the most romantic guy. The guy who's the coolest, the best student in class, the most athletic one, the handsome one. And I dated a few of them. They're pretty cool. They always tell me really sweet words. But there's one thing, and that was so basic, but they couldn't do, was communicating, talking to me. Whenever there's a problem, I feel like I'm alone. Like they went somewhere else. They disappeared and they're not by my side. I don't think any of us deserve to feel lonely in a relationship. But I didn't realize then. I was heartbroken and I thought I did something wrong. And then I met my current husband. And being with him made me realize one of the biggest things, what I deserve to be treated. He's always there. He's always talk to me. He always tell me what's going on in his head and his heart. He always tell me what he's feeling. And he always tell me what he wants, what makes him angry, what makes him happy. When I say things like this, me in the past, or I think maybe some of us, our first reaction would be like, oh, it's easy for you to say. It's quite hard to do it. But that's the point. That is exactly the point I'm trying to make. It shouldn't be hard. It should be easy and basic and simple. It should be the most basic standard among all of other standards. The ability to communicate, to speak up your mind and your heart. I know that when you're angry or when you're sad, it's really hard to talk it out and to say out loud immediately. All of us totally deserve some time for ourselves. But the thing is, I think it would really help if you actively tell your partner you need some time for yourself and you will come back. You will initiate the conversations and tell them what you want, what makes you angry, what makes you happy. When we start sharing, when we start communicating, we're going to see that there are a lot of things that is much, much, much easy for us to handle. That is a sign when you're in the same team. As simple as talking to each other. Sometimes I feel like our generation, we are so entangled in a kind of game, in a game of love, the kind of chasing game, like a cat running after a mouse and a mouse running after the cat. It's endless. It's like a loop. I found myself in that situation many times before. I look around, I see some of my friends were in the same situation. And sometimes it makes me wonder, it would be so much more beautiful if we live in a society where every single of us have a strong belief of what the right love is, where we know, like a palm of our hand, what it's right to treat other people and what we deserve to be treated. And I think it's one of the most important things to remind ourselves, to remind the people around us, and most of all, to remind and to teach the younger generation, our sisters, our brothers, our nephews, our nieces, our younger friends, our kids. It's really important to pass down this belief, this spirit, this knowledge and understanding, what you deserve to be treated, and how you define a right action to treat your partner. I think all of that should be passed down generations to generations. And then one day we will see that we live in a society where everyone know exactly the most basic thing that we should do in a relationship. And it's just gonna become easy because we all know what it is. We all practice it. And it becomes so easy. It's not gonna sound so hard and complicated anymore. Regardless of your gender, regardless of your age, regardless of your sexuality, we all should be treated right in a relationship. I remember when I started dating my husband now, I was heartbroken when I met him. And then at one point I realized he was also heartbroken. He also has his own stories. And then I realized that it's not just the boy part. It's not just the boy role to treat the girl right. It should be the girl role to treat the boy right as well. And of course, in any other kind of relationship. not just boy and girl relationship. I think all of us, we have all been heartbroken at least once. We all have our own stories. But the most important thing is that what we should do to all of those broken parts. Should we take it as something that define us, make us lose faith in relationship and keep playing games with other people? Or we're gonna take it as a lesson, as a motivation to learn from it and to know more about what we want, what we need, and what is right to treat other people in a relationship. Of course, we all have hormones. We all have time when we were young and don't know how to navigate relationship. But I hope all of us know where to stop playing games, where to stop running around, and when we should stand up and tell ourselves that what do I need, what do I want, and what I should do to treat other people. I think buying someone flowers or baking a cake for someone is really sweet and romantic, and it's a way to show your sincerity. But I think sincere love can also be shown through talking to them, telling them what you think, being clear, and being straightforward about how you feel, your needs, and your wants. The biggest message I want to deliver through this podcast is that stop hyping about true love and start the conversations about the right love. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I hope that you have gained some positivity after listening to my podcast. I wish you really good health, safety, so much happiness with your loved ones. And I hope to receive some feedback and I hope to receive some really cool receptions from this podcast. Once again, thank you so much and have a great day or have a good night. Thank you and see you next time.